Hey,
What's up?
hello everyone. Morning, Adam.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's the end of the week.
Yes, indeed. Any
End of
plans
a
for the
busy
weekend?
week. Yeah, probably
Relaxing
working. Yeah,
or
working
working?
probably. Yeah. We got a lot of stuff in this week,
Mhm.
so probably come in some on the weekend and try to get some of it packed out up. But yeah,
Well, hopefully a little bit of both. Not
yeah,
so bad to work a little bit on the weekend.
yeah.
Mm.
No, it'll be a good fun weekend. I'm sure my wife's got a lot of stuff for me to do at home too. So
Indeed. Well, everybody, today we've got another Premium Bandai Master Grade kit to give away.
yes, we do.
Got that. There you go.
White Dingoes, GM Sniper 2. Yeah.
Love that sniper rifle.
Yes.
Super cool design.
Definitely like that kit a lot. I built that one last year, and actually the White Dingo one. So I do like it. I didn't build the regular Master Grade GM Sniper one that came out, but I'm sure it's the same, just different colors.
I think that one's been reissued once or twice already, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sniper rifle. The half shield's kind of cool as well too. It's just the White Dingo's colors never really do much for me. I'd have to picture it in different colors or something. But yeah, that's cool. So as you guys know, you guys watching live, hopefully you guys left your questions already on the different social media pages beforehand so that you're entered for the giveaway. We'll give that away. We'll draw the winner for that at the end of the show today. And before that, we're going to take a look. Anything else new to show off today? Nothing really.
Nothing
right?
new. I mean, we've got tons and tons of restock stuff this
Mhm.
week. So everything was, just stuff that Bandai has obviously made before that we're getting back in stock. If anyone hasn't seen that, if you go to our blog there on the website, you can see the list of everything that's come in this week.
Yes.
All the new stuff should be arriving next week. The Machine Dramon, those metal, heavy metal kits.
Elgine.
Yeah, Elgine, thank you. Those are coming in. Some Pokeplot kits, 3-minute mission kits. So a lot of new stuff is coming in next week, and then in the weeks following, I think the Cassie's coming in about 2 or 3 weeks.
The
Gin, yeah, it's all on its way. I don't know if it's landed yet in California, but I know it's been shipped out. So from Japan. So yeah, tons of stuff coming in. A lot more restocks. I know I saw a lot of people kind of complaining that the Sosby is sold out. The Master Grade Verka, we were talking about that earlier. Tons more of those coming in this next week. So yeah, we'll have the lists as they come in put up.
Yeah, if you guys missed earlier this morning, for me, with my time earlier this morning, I built the Master Grade Gin live on my channel. If you guys missed that, go back and watch that. But yeah, I believe you still have some available pre-orders for that. So if you guys still want to pre-order it, head over there and pre-order it, and that'll be coming in next couple weeks, you said. So very cool kit. Definitely check it out, guys. And speaking of the website and the blog, one thing that we wanted to talk about today too was some updates and stuff. If you guys missed it, I made a post for us there on where was it? Kind of everywhere, I guess. Asking you guys to give your feedback about the website. So Adam, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, a lot of good feedback. Thank you guys very much for submitting different things. We're already working on a lot of it. We'll probably have a new item page maybe up today. Or if not next week with some of the new features you guys wanted, bigger view of the picture so you guys don't have to kind of squint your eyes so much. So a lot of really cool stuff going on that. And then one thing though that a lot of people asked for was a button to click for out of stock. We have that currently on there. So yeah, if people just go to that collection page, there's a button on the left hand side that just says turn off all out of stock stuff. So you just click that button and you won't even see out of stock stuff. So I knew that was like, I don't know, half the questions were that. So, or not questions, recommendations. So I was like, but we have that. So I'll make that a little bit bigger on the site so people can find a little bit easier. But yeah, no, a lot of really cool stuff coming. A lot of really great input from everybody. You guys are the ones shopping on it. So yeah, I can look at it all day long and think it's great, but if it's not great, That's not great. You guys have value input because you're using it all the time. So thank you guys.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure, you know, a lot of people also just would like to have just more stock of stuff in general, which is kind of out of our control, right?
Yeah.
What we can do about that. But yeah, that's good. So some updates coming to the website very soon. So
Very soon.
very good. And yeah, lots of stuff coming in. A couple questions that some people had in the chat room that we can just take real quick. Ricardo asked about the Ultima Gear Millennium puzzle, that Yu-Gi-Oh kind of pyramid puzzle thing, that you'll be getting that in.
Yep, that actually went for pre-order yesterday.
Okay. And speaking of pre-orders, the RG Hainu and the HG Nightingale, those two big kits also up for pre-order as well too. All right, so get those in. Both of those look fantastic. Very much looking forward to both of them.
Yeah, and I know probably a lot of people question why we don't put everything. So Bandai, you know, they come out and they announce a bunch of stuff, and we don't put it all up for pre-order right away because some stuff we have to make sure we're getting here in the U.S., like the Millennium Puzzle. You know, we have to go through licensing, making sure that it is coming here. There's some Star Wars kits, which I'm pretty sure we'll get, but I haven't gotten confirmation that we will. So those aren't up for pre-order yet. I know I had some people call and email yesterday about that. If we're allowed to have them, we'll have them. As soon as we get the word, you know, those things will be up on the website. So sometimes things like that might lag a few days, just till we get confirmation from Bandai saying yes. I mean, the Gundam kits we know we're getting, so those go up right away.
Yeah, sure.
But some of that other license stuff we just kind of have to wait on.
Yeah, if when like the Nightingale and the RG Hainu, like for example, when those were announced, when Bandai did a big dump of announcements all at once, if we would have put everything up on the site at that time, I mean, we had no idea when those kits were actually coming. I would not have expected at that time that it would have to wait until September before getting the Hainu. It's quite a long time. And also just a couple things here from the chat too. Steven asked about the Machine Drum kits, as we just mentioned a little bit ago. Adam said that those are coming very soon.
Should be here next week. Probably later next week than earlier next week. I believe they are shipping out today from Bandai there in California. And it takes about a week to get here in Florida. So,
and other Bandai stuff. I mean, when the pre-orders came up for the Hainu and the Nightingale the other day, Bandai also had a lot of other different announcements stuff. Some new Pokeball kits that they announced. The T-Rex skeleton I was talking to you about. Yeah, that looks super cool.
They did. Didn't they do Gashapon ones of those?
Of dinosaur skeletons?
Yeah, I want to say there was a Triceratops one, and there might have been a T-Rex one.
I'm sure that's probably been a thing at some point. Not that I've seen that I can remember, but I'm sure that's existed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if it's the same kit and they just put it in like a box form instead of a Gashapon form. So
I'm sure it's probably something new, because I think if I remember the price was around $30 or something for that. So it's got to be bigger, I guess. Yeah. And like one of the images they show was like a breakdown of all the pieces, and it looks like it's got a fair amount of pieces in there. So it's a little bit more kind of complex kind of thing, I guess. That looks cool. Anyway, so we've got a lot of questions, of course, to get to today as usual. So let's get into that. We'll take some questions from the YouTube community tab here that were previously asked. So those of you guys watching live, just hang out for a little bit. I'm going to take some of these questions from here. Chad asked, how long do you think before we get the expansion set for the RG Hainu, such as the heavy weapons add-on? Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question, because usually they do it right around the same time that they release the kits, right? Or maybe like a month later. So I would assume if they're going to make one, we'll get an announcement pretty shortly, I would think.
Yeah, I agree. I would say it is definitely coming. Yeah. Probably before the end of the year, I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably very likely. And we don't know for sure, but it's safe to assume that they'll probably release it the same way they've done it in the past, where you can get it just on its own or as the full set with the Gundam and stuff in there too. So if you want to hold off on buying the Gundam straight away, maybe wait if you really want to get that as a full set. But or it should be available on its own, I would imagine. So no really need to wait. And with the new Gundam, the color is slightly different depending on which version you bought. But I think with the Hainu, they didn't have that. There was no color difference or anything when they did it with the Master Grade, anyway. Yeah. So I don't think there would really be any difference with that. All right. The Mad Doctor said, just wanted to say hi and wanted if there was any problem with airbrushing in humid environment. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A humid environment. If I remember correctly, I mean, I'm here in Florida, so
Humid.
yeah, it's very humid. It does slow the drying process a little bit, from my understanding, and also you're getting what is it? Doesn't make the paint not adhere and crack more if it's right.
Yeah, because there's more water in the air,
Yeah.
and as the aerosol paint is flying at super high speed onto your part, it's catching some of that water in there too.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, basically. I'm no chemist, but
Yeah.
yes. Ideally, you would not want it to be too humid when you're airbrushing. So if you can just get a dehumidifier or something like that where you're working, that would be ideal. Xian Remnant asked, if Char had gotten his hands on a Gundam, would the 1 Year War have turned out differently?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
How much of a difference? I mean,
yeah, it's one
how
person.
much of a difference could one? I mean,
I don't actually know. I don't think it would have changed. I think there might have been different outcomes, maybe on different things, but the overall war would have ended. Might have ended differently, but it still would have ended the side that it ended with.
Right. Yeah. I think just thinking about like any of like the big battles that we saw in the series, like if any one of those particular battles would have been won by Char having a Gundam instead of whatever mobile suit he had, because like every time he always had the more advanced mobile suit anyway.
Right.
And especially when you got to the later part of the series, once you got the Gelgoog was quite advanced for that time as well too. Yeah. And then even when he had the Zeong still. So I don't think it really would have changed that much. Would have been cool.
Yeah.
To see the Gundams facing off, Char and his own Gundam facing off against Amuro. That would have been cool. Char did later have, I mean, I don't know what the backstory is behind Char's RX-78 that appeared in the game. I don't know what the story was with that, but there's that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Murasame asked, not interested in winning the giveaway, but do you know if there'll be restocks of the Code Geass model kits?
Not anytime soon. Sadly.
Yes. Well, it's not a very common question, so I don't know if there's that much demand for them, but yeah, it would be nice if there's just at least around for people who want them. Mm-hmm. Will we ever get a Pisces and or Cancer resin kit, preferably in 144 scale? Phil asked.
I thought there was already 144 resin kits for those.
Was there a B Club kit?
It was. I mean, not through Bandai.
Yeah, no.
Oh man, this was. I'm thinking years and years ago, though. I thought
I don't remember. As far as I know, I don't know if I've ever seen any.
Yeah, I could very easily be wrong, but I thought I remembered seeing them along. Like we're talking like 5-6 years ago. So
yeah, I don't know if it is kind of weird to imagine that those wouldn't have already been made as just a garage kit by someone in Japan. Would have made those as like a thing for Wonderfest or something. I'm sure those have existed at some point, but probably very limited supply. I don't think it's impossible that we'll never see like a 1/44 scale HG kit of those. It's possible. It's not very likely, but you never know. Anthony asked, just wondering when the Jin pre-orders will start shipping out. Okay, we talked about that. And will you be getting the MG version of the Shinanju back in stock anytime soon?
They are not on any list for the rest of this month. I believe they're coming next month at the end of the month, but
do you know which version? Because actually, I forgot to read this, but
the OVA version.
Okay, so he's asking about the Verka.
Yeah, no, the Verka. I think we just got the metallic or the titanium edition. in this week, but yeah, I don't think the Verka, if I remember correctly, I don't think it's getting made this year at all. But they sometimes do change their production schedule on us. We'll get what they're making for the year, or what they plan to make for the year, and then we kind of go off of that. So, but the OVA version I know is getting made like 4 or 5 times this year, so that is coming for sure.
Yeah, I would expect in general they probably produce that one a lot more than the Verka.
Yep.
The Verka is not completely discontinued, but for all intents and purposes, not really going to be seeing too much of that, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate if you want the water slides, but otherwise not that much different.
Yeah, you'll probably see the titanium finish one way more than you'll see the regular one, because I don't think they make a titanium. Not for, regular standard stores anyways. They might have made like a P Bandai one or something, or a Gundam base one. But yeah, the only titanium that I can think of is the Verka one.
Yeah. There's the mechanical clear version from Gundam base.
Yeah. You got me that. Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful kid. All right. Patrick asked, what mobile suit that hasn't been made would you most like to see turned into an MG?
Oh man, we get this question a lot. I feel like, and I
so
feel
I'm
like
just gonna stick with my easy answer of Rosenzulu.
Yeah. I feel like I do change it up sometimes because I'll see other things, but I would love a master grade Pale Rider. I do like the Pale Rider. I've been looking at the high grades, and then some of the artwork actually the last few months, and that would be cool. I feel like it would be a P Bandai kit, but
yeah, probably, yeah. Like the Master Grade Hazel kits that have been coming out like that. I would also say Hygog would be a fantastic one as well too.
That would be an interesting one. That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah. It's such a fun HG kit, and I think it's still, even though it's been out forever, it's still a pretty popular kit.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm sure that would be a good MG. They've made other different Xeon aquatic mobile suits as master grades. They've got a bunch of them already, so it would make sense, I think. Ian asked, could we get a dedicated category for water slides and decals on the site? Also more Simpro decals instead of the DL model decals, please.
So there is a dedicated page for decals. If you just go and you let me go to the site and make sure. Yeah, the left-hand side, if you hover over detail parts, it's right there. It says decals. The DL decals. So the Simp decals are moving. They used to be made, I guess, in conjunction with the DL ones. Now they're not. So as we refresh our stock, those will kind of get phased out, and the new ones will be brought in. Yep.
Which are better. I can confirm. The quality is better. So yeah, that's good. All right. Area Mo said, when you start a build, do you build it on the edge of your pants, or do you plan a long time before starting the build?
For me, it depends on what I'm doing, I guess, building for. If I'm building for a display case here, then I'm just going to build it, and it doesn't matter. If I'm building it kind of for me and wanting to do stuff with it, I'll kind of pre-plan a little bit, or have an idea of what I want to do color scheme wise. But more of the planning happens after it's kind of built, and I can look at the kit and physically touch the kit and draw on it, any panelize I want and stuff. So that's probably more when it comes into effect. The planning, anyways, for me.
Yeah, totally. For me, it's mostly fast. That's kind of my one speed for building. When at least just building the kit, right? Just the initial construction of the kit. I'm just trying to think if there's any time when I'll really take my time with the build, but not really. Not these days. There's too many things to do. So, but of course, after that, like going into the painting process and all of that kind of takes time. There's not really any way to get around that, to do it faster. You kind of have to take your time with those later steps. But for the just initial build up, you can blaze through that. David asked, new RGs are relatively rare, but what new ones do you think we might get in the next couple of years? Well, they've always been kind of rare. Since they started, they've been kind of pretty evenly spaced out, I feel like.
Yeah, I think the only ones that really weren't was probably the Eva ones. I mean, we were getting those like every month. I felt like there for a minute. But as far as like Gunpla ones, yeah, usually they were doing one for every quarter there for a while, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
At least for the
every
last
3 or 4 months.
Yeah. But I mean, they kind of have, I mean, wide open what they can decide to pick. You know, they'll pick more probably kits that are sold better as master grades and high grades. So I'm assuming we'll see like some Goof Custom maybe soon. You know, we'll see mostly hero suits though. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure there'll be a Barbados at one point in time. I'm sure. What other hero suits do we not have in?
G Gundam.
Yeah, so G. Yeah.
Very looking forward to that. And I mean, we've talked about this particular suit before when we asked about this question. I think that would be perfect for RG.
Yeah,
I can really make it superposable and everything, like with the RG Astray.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic kit. So.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll. I mean, things like that. You know, your kind of main suits, and then stuff that's sold well or popular stuff. You know, Sosby's popular, Hainu's popular.
I could see them making like an Age 1 kit. I know Age is not the most popular thing, but at least like the main suit is pretty popular, I feel like.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprised they didn't do any more Build Divers stuff. You know, they didn't do any. Yeah, I would have thought there'd be like a Kamiki Burning or something like that was real grade. But they didn't do a lot of master grade stuff either.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, indeed.
And then stuff that they can, I mean, I'm sure we'll get a Snandru Stein eventually, whether that's P Bandai or it'll probably be P Bandai.
And Alex, do you think they would ever make an Alex or a double Zeta?
Maybe. I mean, they're doing bigger units now. I mean, at first they started with the Zaku, and they kind of moved the RX-78, and they kind of worked their way up Zaku. Smaller kits that came in almost like a high grade box, and now you look at the ones that they're doing, and they're now your standard master grade box. They're bigger kits, that have been, I think, with the last few other than the Eva ones have been since the Full Armor Unicorn, right?
I think they've mostly all been the bigger size kits. So bigger size boxes anyway.
Right. So you never know. I mean, they did a real great Xeon. That kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, that it does seem like probably at some point double Zeta is probably likely. Yeah, I would think.
I can see it.
Yeah, any of like the most popular ones, right? If you're wanting like, this is why I think. When they'll put out like the Strike, for example, then people are gonna want the Duel and the Blitz and all these other like kind of side suits as well too. They're just so much less likely to happen, just because with the RG line they really just kind of stick to the main suits from the series,
right?
Whether they be protagonist or antagonist, but they're usually the main ones, right?
Yeah, Easy 8. I could see that coming.
Yeah, yeah. The Ground Gundam. We already had the artwork for that. They put out years ago.
Yeah.
Ground Gundam. Was it the Jim and the Goof?
Think, right? They had all those. We're on that.
Yeah. All right. Daniel. Let's see. Daniel asked, "Do you have kits in your physical store that you generally don't put on your website?"
Yeah, P Bandai and limited release kits. So we do have those in our store, and we don't generally put those on the website anymore. So that's one thing. Yeah. So if you want limited edition type stuff, our store usually has some stuff in stock, anyways.
Stop in.
Yep, that's where we get all our giveaways. Just walk over to the store and grab what's in over there. Yeah.
All right. Shar asks, any plan on carrying the HG Psybuster? I'm ordering one for sure, he said.
Sidebuster?
Psybuster? I'm not, or Psybaster? I'm not sure what that is actually either. Doesn't ring a bell for me.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm not the only one.
Psybaster. Oh, okay, it's a Super Robot Wars.
Is it a P Bandai kit?
But it's Bandai here. So I do remember seeing something about this. But have you ever got Super Robot Wars kits from Kotobukiya?
I believe here and there. So, now that we're working directly, and ordering over there, I can ask, to see if we can get more, different things brought.
Yep.
I know a lot of Super Robot Store stuff, Robot Wars, not Store
Yes.
Wars stuff, has a lot of different licensing things because
Yeah,
they took a lot of things from different places. So
Right.
some of that stuff we can't bring over here.
Mhm.
But if we can, then yeah. But I don't. That doesn't ring a bell. I want to say is that's
Yeah,
not
because that's what I was gonna say is if you've never gotten the Super Robot Wars stuff from Kotobukiya either, then I would guess maybe it is a licensing thing. But
yeah. I'm pretty sure that Sidebuster is a P Bandai thing. I'm pretty
they're
sure.
saying in the chat that it's supposed to be just a regular release. So
Is it?
yeah,
I'll find out because I haven't seen anything on it. Yeah, HLJ has it.
Mm.
When's it supposed to come out? June. I'll look. I'll find out.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I would imagine you probably would be able to get that. Seems like, but yeah. See. James asked, any idea when the HG Advanced Hazel back orders will be shipping out?
HG Advanced Hazel back orders. I'm assuming we just got them in. If I remember correctly. Yeah, they're probably shipping now. We got them in yesterday, so I'm assuming that those orders will get picked today and start getting shipped out.
All right. King asked, out of all the kits released this year, which one would you say is a must-have? I guess that's including past and future ones, maybe.
Yeah. So I think the High New. I'm pretty excited for that. That's one of my favorite designs. So I know personally I'm excited for that.
Thus far this year, there hasn't actually been
there's not been
much out so far. It's kind of mostly all feature stuff, I guess. And so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the actual Masquerade Virtue looks like, and what the Natalie. I've seen things where it's supposed to be with it, but I don't know 100%.
I think they did show something about that it is supposed to be definitely in there.
So I don't know.
We were talking about that on the live stream this morning.
Okay, sweet. I remember seeing the prototype images for it, so I don't know what that looks like all combined. Is it separate? Is it just come with it? It doesn't go inside it, or is that the inner frame or the inner frame's part? So I'm excited to see what that actually incorporates and what that all looks like.
Yeah. I don't know. Must have. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the High New will be awesome. I don't know. I'm kind of equally excited for the Nightingale, if not maybe slightly more so, just because it's so different, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to that as well too. I saw a lot of once we did finally get the official information for that a couple days ago. I saw a lot of people concerned about the price of it, that the price was not that different. It's like slightly cheaper than the RE100 kit.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at the kits, I mean, the RE100 kit is big, so it has a lot of plastic, but it's like it's very hollow, right? And it hardly does anything. It's basically just a brick. So I mean, the HG, I'm sure, is going to have a lot more stuff inside, and like a lot of part separation there, like just as much part separation. All the like the little yellow parts and everything, it looks like it's all actual separate parts. So it'll have all the same, if not better, part separation than the RE100, and also has the sub arms in the front skirt, which the RE100 didn't have. Better beam effect. I think it's a different beam effect for that one as well too. Anyway, so it's got lots of things. It's not surprising to me at all that the price is not that different.
Yeah,
I think it totally makes sense. Yeah, the size is going to be much different, but there's still going to be a lot of plastic in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kev asked, do you leave most of your models in action poses or standing poses when on display?
They're in action poses. I think all of them are.
I don't really display them, but when I do, it's mostly standing poses for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah?
Uh-huh. Because action poses usually would require them, if it's not just like a standing action pose, if they like need to be up in the air, that would require them to be up on an action base, and I just find action bases to be kind of ugly for like displaying kits, so I would need to have it on some sort of nicer base, and to make that it's just more of a pain to actually have to make a base to hold up the kit.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the main reason, and I just like it's just the standing pose always looks good, but
Like action poses take up more room too, so it depends on.
Here's an example of this guy, which is I put in an action pose on a base because it's very small, simple to have up in the air like that, right?
Nice.
All right. Thomas asked, when do you expect the Motoroid ED209 to ship? And how about the Snow Hatsune Miku as well?
So the Miku we got in, so that is, I mean, probably getting picked and shipped now, depending what else you have in your order.
Mhm.
The Motoroid, I believe, was on an invoice they sent yesterday, so that hasn't got shipped yet, if I remember correctly. So I would assume.
What's the ED209? Which one is that?
I believe.
You've also not gotten in the Patlabor and Helldiver kits from Motoroid too, right? Not yet, I would assume.
Not yet, no. So it's the one from RoboCop.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So those are on that invoice, and so it's paid. I haven't gotten a shipping notification, but usually it takes about a week to a week and a half to get to us once they ship it. So, 2 weeks probably.
Middle of May.
Yeah.
At least. So, all right. And yeah, the Snow Hatsune Miku you said also came in. Very nice. D. Ayers asked, will you be carrying any of the other G frames soon?
So yeah, as they bring them in, I know at first Bandai wasn't bringing them into the States. And now they are. So as new ones come out, we'll get them. I don't know if they're ever going to reprint the old ones. If they do, then we'll get those too. But yeah,
I would assume probably won't. I don't think they ever reprint. I mean, they are kind of kits sort of that you have to put together, but they're still, I think, considered candy toys. So I think those usually don't get reprinted.
No.
They may like find some more, that they just had somewhere that they'll send later on, possibly. But let's see. Jose asked, if I want to get into resin kits, what should I be most mindful of besides proper equipment? So proper equipment, I would assume he means safety equipment. So maybe about that.
So I mean the safety aspect. A lot of people think it's it's not the same as plastic. So obviously when you're working with it, you want to make sure you have a mask on. You don't want to breathe any dust in it when you're standing it or anything like that. So that would be, for me, the most important thing is making sure you understand what you're working with and the toxicities of that. The second thing is wash your parts, wash your resin. Because there's a mold releases on that. So you want to make sure you wash those parts, 409 or something like that to get that off. Because if you paint that and that mold release is still on there, over time your paint will crack, and it's just kind of. I've learned that from experience. Probably that's why I'm bringing that up. So,
yeah, don't want to have that. Just be safe about it. And have proper ventilation and all that.
Yeah, Chris. Hey, Chris is in the chat there. He works with resin a lot. He said yes, that void from Gunprimer is helps bring in all those particles and stuff like that. But yeah, safety is important when you're working with resin.
Which I can see the mold, the void that's in that box right next to your head there, isn't it? Right behind you? Over there? Is that not that there? It looks like a familiar box.
No.
Over there? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Maybe
no,
not.
I think if you're talking about that one.
Yeah.
That is a Miku figure.
Oh, okay. It looks. I just saw like the black circle.
Right. Yeah. The circle. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. E95 says, how often do you restock action bases? I rarely find them in stock.
Whenever Bandai makes them. So yeah. What's interesting is last year they didn't really make a lot of action bases.
Mhm.
We didn't really get a lot in stock. I know there's a lot coming that'll be here within the next month. I don't know when they'll arrive next month, early or late. But there is a ton coming. Probably like 6 times what we normally would order. That way we don't run out of stock. Is the idea, because I mean action bases kind of go with everything if you like action
Sure.
bases.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an item most people will add to their cart. And most people want. So yeah, we ordered a
A lot.
a lot. Yeah.
I would assume so. All right, I want to take one more here from the YouTube community tab, then we'll switch over to Instagram. But Brian had an interesting question here, one that we don't get asked about, I think, ever. Do you think we will see a new high resolution kit this year? And he said that he's thinking Bandai could reuse the God Gundam frame for a Master Gundam. I would love that. I don't think that's very likely, but I love the Master Gundam. So
yeah, I will be surprised if we do. I really think that Bandai showed us everything that they're making new that would be kind of a headline kit earlier this year. And then they'll slowly just tell us the prices and release dates for them.
Yeah.
So I would really be surprised if something like that was announced for this year. I would more see it next year, but I could be wrong. And, hopefully I am wrong. I don't know if they'll use that frame again to, I doubt that. It'll probably be something different. Yeah.
And who knows? Yeah. It's got to be, like one of the big popular ones, Soken and Exia or something like that. I think could be very possible.
Yep.
Or like I don't know, something along those lines. All right, switching over to you, Instagram now. Our good friend Clippin' Nubs said, any thoughts on expanding and adding another store somewhere in the country?
Not right now, because we ship all over. And then the minute you start kind of adding and going into a more retail, you got to worry about making sure that place is in stock. Where we're having a hard time, getting kits since January. Now we're finally getting them, but things like that. Now you got to worry about that. You got to worry about paying someone to run that. You got to worry about a lot of different aspects. Where do you put that store? Sure. But have I thought about it? Yeah, I definitely thought about it.
And it's been something that we've been asked here in past episodes. So yeah, we've talked about that before. Yeah. I mean, certainly it'd be fun. It'd be cool. But especially just for whoever in the community, wherever the location is, having physical locations to go in and have a place where people can meet and hang out and stuff. Yeah, it's fun. So
yeah,
I'm sure it'd be a good time. But the Hellraiser or to Hellraiser anyway asked another interesting question here. What is the Yamcha of the Gundam verse, i.e. originally a fairly strong supporting character that is eventually relegated to meme stock? So that's funny. You know who we're talking about, right? Yamcha?
Yeah. I know who Yamcha. I'm just trying to think. Because he was a solid character through Dragon Ball, and then Dragon Ball Z, that's when he fell to the wayside.
Kind of. The Zaku 2 is kind of that, because then I think like in what is it? It was in Unicorn, there's a moment where they're like at the museum, right? And there's that busted up Zaku, and they're like making fun of it or something, or like talking about that. And then I think there was also a moment in Reconquista and G too, where there's like a Zaku in a museum or something.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah. But it's also in Turn A as well.
Yeah.
Not as a meme. I think it's
right.
It does all right.
Yeah, if you're talking like mainstream memes, I don't think there's anything Gundam wise that did what Yamcha did. With him laying there on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, that was everything. Arby's even made a joke about it. So it's. I don't know if there's anything that's at that level or even close to that level, especially if we're having a hard time trying to think about it.
I mean, the Kapul also maybe a little bit, although it was never like strong, so it never really had that. But in like in turn A, the Kapul does get kicked around a little bit as well too. I mean, in sort of a meme way, I guess at moments, but yeah.
I mean,
That
if we're
might be.
going maybe like character wise, maybe Camille, because there was a few memes with that, you know.
Sure.
Girl's name, but I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe no direct equivalent, but sort of. OEB asked, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
As much wood as wood could say. As much wood as woodchuck could chuck if woodchuck could chuck wood.
There you go. Confusing username asks, what is your favorite and least favorite grunt suit?
I like gyms. I don't know if I have a favorite gym variant though. But I'm a Fetty guy, so I do like the gyms a lot. A Jesta wouldn't be considered a grunt suit, right? That's more of a special. I mean,
super grunt.
Yeah. If that is, then that. But I mean, gyms. Ones that I hate. Ooh.
The age enemy grunt suits, the dinosaur
one?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people like that dinosaur one though.
Yeah.
Age has some dumb ones. Build Divers has some stupid ones too. Sorry,
yeah,
they really
That's
do.
True.
Probably a lot of the Build Divers ones are.
Yeah, I would really have to think about some different series because I'm sure there's a lot of ones like the what's the one from Zeta, like towards the end that kind of transforms. That's just super ugly. It was like an Axis one that like Haman was like in the leader of. What was that? There's an HG of it. I'm drawing a blank on what the name of that one is. Super ugly. It just looks so dumb.
Was it? It's not. No, it's not that one that I'm thinking of.
Rivi in the chat mentioned the sumos, and the sumo is one. Yeah, Gaza was the one that I think I was thinking of. Yeah, Gaza is the really ugly one. But sumo is a really cool one that I would love a master grade sumo. That'd be really cool. It's a really unique design that I think would make a really nice master grade.
There's two different Gaza high grades, right? There's two.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Pretty ugly. For me, I think I much prefer, in most cases, probably the Xeon grunt suits. So, like the Domintropen is super cool. Any like Zaku 2 variants, all that kind of stuff are all really cool. William asked, any updates on your 144 scale base coming in? I don't know, which one is that?
I don't know.
I had to clarify that, William. But if you're talking about the 144 scale version for the RG New Gundam, that base, that's like a shrunken down version of like the base for the metal structure. Maybe you're asking about that. If that's what you're asking about, William, maybe you know about that. I have the prototype here that I'm working on painting.
They aren't done making them, or I think they just finalized the molds. If I'm so it might be. What did we put for the? Oh, what would that thing be called? A hanger? Let's see if that.
Something.
Yeah, that brought it up. Sweet. We have it as April, but honestly, it'll probably be May. Because I think they just got the molds finished, so they'll. And then there's other parts that are supposed to go with this that they. There's different parts that will go with it too. Because honestly, I think it's mostly a copy of the.
Metal structure design.
Yeah, I think they changed like one or two things because I gave them feedback saying that you don't want to do an exact copy. But it's kind of loosely based off of that. We'll say that.
I got the prototype for that, which is a 3D printed version. It's not even the molded one, but that I started working on that. And it's all in pieces at the moment, so not much that I could show of it. But it's pretty cool anyway. Just even the 3D printed version, it's not very clean, right? But what's your top pick for the next perfect grade? Josh asked.
Top pick.
Next perfect grade. Shinanju would be cool.
That would be cool.
The unicorn. I don't see that being very likely, but
have they made? There's only been the Zaku's, right? That has been a non-Gundam.
Non-Gundam, yeah. I think.
They made. Didn't they make a goof one along? Like, isn't that? Was that
not technically PG. It's in the HY2M series, I think. Yeah, okay. There's that and the DOM. There's 160 scale versions of, which are sort of quasi PG.
Right.
It's like a 2.0 version or like a PG Unleashed version of the Zaku 2. I think would be nice.
I can probably see that maybe being next.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if it is, we don't know. But so if just it guessing. Is, we're just guessing. So, but I could actually see that. That would actually be really cool if they did do that.
John asked, favorite grunt suit that is underrated. Oh, another question about grunts. Underrated one. A little bit different twist on that. I don't know. Then I'm just going to say Hygog again, since that's on my mind. Yeah. Although I think that does have a lot of fans out there, but by the fact that there's no MG yet, it must be underrated.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I want to say Dom, but Dom is getting a whole like a 1.5. Yeah. So that, but I guess I'm more thinking things that. I mean, Leo doesn't have anything. I mean, they just came out with a high grade of it.
Yeah.
Underrated. I'm trying to think real obscure, but. No, I think high grade.
It's kind of hard to remember the more obscure ones, right?
Yeah.
Offhand. The other question, though, is also kind of grunt related. Smack just asked, Gray's thoughts? That's kind of a vague question, but thoughts on the Grays in general? I think it's very possible, or maybe just wishful thinking on my part, that they'll make a Master Grade Grays at some point.
Yeah, but, I mean, you've got the was it full mechanics, but they weren't called full mechanics. They're
just 100 scale.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, basically full mechanics. Yeah, I mean, that would I actually would like that a lot to be a master grade of that. Yeah. I don't see that anytime soon though.
Yeah.
Is it underrated? I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's where he was
asking. It's a separate question.
Oh, okay.
This person just asking just about the grades in general.
No, I think it'd be cool. I think any IBO kit would be cool. I like the IBO designs just because you can see all like the pistons and stuff like that, all that stuff in them. So that, I mean, those make for cool kits.
Yeah. Yeah. Always would. I'm open to seeing anything new Grays related. It's a cool design. So. What is a rare kit you would like to build? Officer Smiled asks.
A rare kit that I would like to build? I'm one of those people that don't open rare kits. I mostly just, if it's rare, I leave it in the box and put it on a shelf to collect dust. But I would like to build. They made wasn't there a full frontal Baowu, but it wasn't called a Baowu. It was called something else.
Rebawu.
Yes. I'd like to build that. That was a P Bandai kit that I missed out on.
Very cool.
Yeah, I would like to actually build one of those. I've got the other Baowoos, but like I said, I put stuff in a box and let it collect dust. But that one I would probably build. I
wonder, Dan Salas of those Gundam guys? Dan? He was working on that kit, and he was like modifying it to look more closer to like the, I think it's Kotoki artwork for that, I want to say. And I remember seeing him posting his work in progress images for that, and it was looking great. I don't know if he ever finished it though. So Dan, if you see this, I hope you'll finish that someday.
Please.
Yeah, that's a cool one though. Definitely. How about that 1/35 scale XS kit? Let's build that.
Yeah. That would go into the storefront if we built that. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Just simply said, if you had to pick a bootleg company to get Gundams from, who would you rather pick?
None. Because Bama's watching this. We do not condone third-party Gundam kits.
Unofficial, which anything non-Bandai would be unofficial if it's got the Gundam labeling, if it's a Gundam design. What is your favorite transforming kit? That's an interesting one. I don't really like transforming kits generally.
Yeah, I don't either. I actually built the Delta Plus. I liked a lot, but I don't transform it, and it didn't transform. I left it in the Gundam mode. So
that said, the Delta Plus is one of the best looking transformed kits, in my opinion. I will say. Yeah.
So I'll go with that.
The XS as well too. It looks very cool transformed. It doesn't really look like anything. It's just kind of a mess. It looks like a rocket ship or something, but it does look very cool transformed as well. The XS. Yeah, there's a few out there that do look cool. More often than not, though, transformations usually not. I'm not that into it, and I think even if it's one that I think the transformed state does look pretty cool, it's kind of hard to imagine like actually displaying it that way. Yeah. Unless I had two of them or something, or if I already built and painted one and then I wanted to do another one at some point later, which I could see that being the case with something like the Delta Plus, because I do really like the transformation of that. But yeah, mostly I don't really care for that usually. Do you have any tips for hand painting kits? TLJ asked.
I don't really hand paint, but make sure your paint's pretty thin, and make sure to take your time when you're hand painting. You don't want to leave streaks or paintbrush marks. I don't know what your official name is, but yeah, that would be my suggestion or advice. Take your time. Zach left us, guys.
Oh. Allergy season here. It's just like all the pine tree dust, yellow, very fine dust. It's crazy here this time of year.
Love Florida.
Yes. All right. Hand painting. It as far as tips go, it really depends on the type of paint you're going to use too. Generally, I think we talked about this on the last episode. We had basically the same question. But just to look into it, there's lots of tutorials and stuff online. I'm sure that you can see. Generally, what people use for Gunpla, I think, is more likely to be acrylic paint, and the way you paint acrylic paint is quite different from if you wanted to paint with lacquer, which is much less done for Gunpla anyway. But it's more done for particularly Machine & Krieger, and I think probably other things as well too. But as far as hand painting lacquer, it's not very common.
No.
Let's see. Get another one here. What is your favorite mobile suit from Zeta Gundam?
From Zeta?
Mobile suit from Zeta Gundam? I don't know. It's definitely not the Zeta Gundam for me.
No. Cubely, I would say.
Yes. That's a cool one. The O is really cool as well too. What else? The Biolant, although I prefer the other different variants much more than the original version. The original is probably my least favorite of all the different variants, but still, it's a cool design. I really like. What else? Both the Zeta Gundam and the Mark II are both not really ones that I particularly like all that much, actually.
I don't mind the Mark II personally, but probably
fine. Yeah.
Cubely is probably for me out of all the suits out of Zeta that I like the best. It's just very unique. Although there's some other unique ones in there, but for me, it's the most unique.
Another one that I think it was actually from Double Zeta. The Game Alk is actually from Double Zeta, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe
But that's
so.
another one that I would love to see a kit of. That, and every time we're asked about like what we'd like to,
Yeah.
what kit we want, I always forget about that. But I would love to see a kit of that. I think it'd be too big, probably for a master grade. It could be like a RE100 kit if they ever do any more of those, or more likely probably an HG.
Yeah.
I think that's very possible that will eventually come out as an HGUC kit at some point. Hopefully sooner than later, but also a very cool design. When do you think the MG Virtue will be released? See Beskett asked.
I feel like that's going to be our December kit.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I have a I'm pretty sure that will be our big kit that will release in December.
I wonder if it. I think it's at this point. You're probably right about that. Originally, I would have guessed earlier in the year, but considering we haven't got anything more about it yet, I think you're probably right about that. But I wonder if that was originally the date that they were shooting for, because they announced it, because just between the time when it was announced and the release is so long, kind of makes me wonder if that was something that they originally had slated for a little earlier in the year, because I think like the Dynamis and the Curios both came out like around the summertime, I think, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like that's probably what they originally had planned, and then they had to move it back. But let's see. Should we put a bet on it? The month?
I'm going with December.
You're gonna say December? I am still cautiously optimistic that it'll be before that, but then the question is, what's going to be the big December kit?
Well, you've got, the stuff they just announced now is coming out August, September.
The Nightingale's July.
I think.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
July or August, and the Hainu September. So
so September. So October, November, December. So your next quarter. Yeah.
It's kind of a long time to have. I mean, we can assume the Dom was coming out sometime in between there, but it's still quite a while to have between the Jin and the Virtue, to basically just have like the Dom coming out in between. Seems kind of a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the Dom is that Japan Amazon thing.
Yeah. There was a question about that earlier. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It'd be cool if it wasn't, but I have a feeling it is.
Yes. Jay asked, when do I give you my shipping information?
When you
if you win. In about 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes. If you're selected, Jay, then you can send that along. How has the supply of stock been since COVID? Fuzz asked.
Horrible, honestly. So, once April last year hit, we got one container after that. And then it was, honestly, it was just getting kits wherever you could. We went from Bandai being our number one resource to being all these different third-party distributors that usually would get their kits from Bandai, the same as we would, but they still had some in stock, so we set up accounts with them and then kind of wipe them out. Then they ran out of kits, so then we would. It kind of became a race to get whoever could get whatever they could first through all the stores. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. Now we should be getting stuff in like every week, I've been told. Bandai's able to pump out a lot. They have their new factory is up and running over there. So
Boxman asked, favorite prototype suit that deserves a kit. That's maybe another one that would probably take a lot of thinking to really narrow down. The one that I've been saying, Resin Zulu, I don't know if that really counts as a prototype. I don't think so. It's kind of like a one-off kind of variant of a design, but sort of.
I would go with that as being a prototype. Because what was the one with that he piloted that had the big gun? Because Resin Zulu is the one with the like pedals and stuff, right? Like the So what was the one called?
It was just a variant of the Girozulu, like a guards type or something. I think it's called. Yeah.
Okay.
The pink Rosen Zulu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or sorry, the pink Girozulu.
Girozulu.
Yes. It has other prototypes. I mean, I have to think about that. I'm sure there's a lot.
your prototypes are usually your main suits, and your main enemy suits are usually the prototype suits, and those usually get kits.
Yeah, Mike in the chat there has a good one, the Saikomo Rikdam, or just the Saikomo Zaku. That would be a nice one. The one that had a very brief appearance in Thunderbolt. There is a 1/44 scale kit of that, an old one from the 80s, but I love that design. That'd be a cool one as well too. Yeah. And you have like the old like 1 Year War prototype kits, which there are a lot of old kits for them, like the prototype. There's like a prototype Dom, and I can think there's like a prototype Desert Zaku or something even like that as well too, something, or Desert Goof, something. Those MSV ones, there's some really cool prototypes that would be nice to have updated versions of those. Maybe to come out as like in the Origin line, as HG Origin kits. It'd be a good way to put some of those out.
Yeah. They haven't really made anything Origin wise in a while.
Yeah, I think not since the Gundam.
Yeah,
that was the last one. But, have you guys visited Japan in the past, or plan to see the 1-to-1 scale Gundams?
You definitely have. I have not. I was supposed to go last year. We were actually supposed to meet up last year, and then that kind of fell apart with world events. But I have never been. I would love to go. So one day
we will.
Yeah.
We'll have to go. Hopefully next year. I'm hoping. It's hard. Because like since I think the first time I went is in 2009, and at that time that's when the ARC 782 1-to-1 scale ARC 782 was first built, and that was even before they moved it to in front of Diver City building. So in its original location, like right on the waterfront, was the first time when I saw it. It was the first time I was there, and since then I've been to Japan. I think like at least once a year, almost every year. I think there's like 1 year I didn't go, but and I lived there for a year as well, in between there as well too. But yeah, it's a great place, and it kind of sucks to last year couldn't go at all, and we were supposed to go to Shizuoka.
Yeah,
that was really disappointing. And this year I'm sure I won't go at all this year either. So sucks, but hopefully next year. Yeah, so hopefully we can go. Everything will be cleared up and settled down, and hopefully we can go to Shizuoka next year. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah. So a year from now, basically, we'll see. Any news about a new Gundam series? Toy Hunter asked. No news.
Not that I know of. They just have that live action thing going right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing.
Yeah,
and just Hathaway's Flash. But not as a series, of course. But that's kind of the only things really that we know of. Which is odd. But I would assume it's just a matter of time before we'll see something about some new TV series, because they kind of need to have that going on as well too. What do you think will be the next RG after the Hainu? Could be anything. We kind of already talked about that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So let's switch over to Facebook. We'll take some questions from there as well too here before we wrap up for today. Aaron asked, any word on some action bases will be back in stock? We talked about that. Here's a question about the contest. For the Clean vs. Weathered contest, I'm hand painting an RG Wing 0 EW. Do I have to paint the pre-molded inner frame? My concern is that since I'm hand painting, I have less control about how much paint goes in at once, and I don't want paint to seep into the joints or ruin the articulation. You don't necessarily have to paint the pre-molded inner frame. I mean, I know I did specify that the entire kit should be painted, so any visible parts ideally would be painted. If it's clear to us in the judging that we can see parts that are not painted, and it just depends on how it looks. If we can see it and it's very clearly not painted, and it doesn't look good, then it'll end up being points off for you. So I mean, don't paint at your own risk, basically. And I will say there's no requirement that you have to show the kit in different poses. You only have to have it in one pose. So I mean, the ability to move the frame around after the kit's painted is totally on you if you want to do that or not. Generally, I paint my kits with the thought in mind that I'm not going to move them around a lot afterwards. But I know, a lot of people do like to still be able to pose it. But if you're worried about the joints and the articulation and stuff, especially if it's for a contest, then maybe don't plan on posing it or keeping it in just one pose. I mean, so hopefully that answers that well enough. Donovan said, any ideas on MG or HG100 scale 00 Virtue? Yes, well, we know it's going to be an MG. That's for sure. How would you add a thing like grease or oil effects to Under Armour? Oh, it's a totally separate question here.
Yeah. To
adding grease and oil effects.
There's a lot of videos on YouTube. I would watch a lot of armor modelers. They do a lot of that. And then there's specific paint brands that have really good products like MIG, AK. They have really good kind of weathering pigments and washes and different things for that specifically. That would be my advice. I've never done it, so I don't even know how to do it, honestly. I would watch YouTube videos on armored modelers.
Yeah. Yep. Check it out and practice, of course. Yeah. Jason asked, looking for a pair of angled tweezers. I have the USA Gundam Store straight tweezers already, and I'm wondering when the angled pair will be released.
We're probably not making an angled pair.
What? So the ones that I have are special limited edition USA Gundam Store.
Tweezers. I'm thinking nippers for some reason, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world you would want an angled nipper. No, we'll be having those. I don't know the exact date. I think they're in production or something, but yeah. Sorry, for some reason my mind was going nippers, and I'm like, why would you want an angle? But all right.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
It's throwing me off. But yeah, tweezers.
I could totally see some company making them and like some people wanting to have them. But yeah, it's one of those things that no one really needs that.
Right.
Abigail asked, I noticed a lot of shops upping the price on their Gundams and having more limited stock. Is there a kink in the supply chain or an issue with production?
So yes, I mean, supplies have been, and very few and far between. Now we're getting more. We've had a problem where, scalpers will place orders. So they'll order like 5 or 10, high grade Barbadoses, and we'll have to cancel that order because they're trying to buy it and then resell it on Amazon at a higher price. But Gundam kit prices are going up. Bandai let us know that they are increasing their price by 10%. So, because our price goes
only
up,
for new stuff coming out, right?
It's for new and restocked stuff. So any kits that are getting produced are getting upped as well.
So the suggested retail price for it?
The suggested retail price will go up, which then means our price gets increased by that 10%, which means pretty much everyone here will be, because we have what's called MAP pricing, minimum advertised pricing. So if the SRP goes up, then we have to raise our prices so we're not under that MAP, and our costs also go up. So that we got an email on that not too long ago.
And also kind of a similar question here. Brian asked, did Bandai increase production quantity due to the number of increased Gunpla stores that have arisen recently?
Yeah, so the demand skyrocketed, obviously, when COVID happened. They opened up their new factory. They finished getting built, so that now gives them more production capacity. I think there's a lot of new people trying to jump on, and not everyone. Some of them are people that are into the hobby, but some people are just in it for the quick buck. And Bandai's kind of recognized that now, and they've put things in place to where, it takes a little bit longer for a new store to be able to get certain things. Because of the production limitation, you don't want to take from your existing people that help grow your base here in the US and give it to someone that just doesn't really care and just wants to make a quick buck. So I know they're being selective now on who is getting what. So I mean, that's good and bad. So.
And I think you talked a little bit about this in the past episode or something, but where like even before COVID happened, Bandai already had plans to open the second factory. So it's like they were already planning to increase their production, but then the demand went up even higher than that. So even though they opened the second factory, they're still not able to meet the demand.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, that factory was getting built way before COVID even was a thing. And that was supposed to meet the demand that would increase over time here in the States and in China and all these different places that they're trying to grow the hobby. And then COVID hit. So the demand is still now, I think they increased it 200 and something, 225, 215% with the new factory, but the demand grew to like 300%. So there's still a shortfall there. So a lot of people will start getting allocated on so many kits that they can order, things like that. So I know with like, for example, the real grade Zeong shooting effect set, that got allocated. A lot of stores orders were kind of cut because they couldn't, they didn't produce enough or weren't able to produce enough, or and that kind of goes into that production capacity thing. So
speaking of production capabilities and stuff, kind of the next question is an interesting one. With all the engineering progress in the MG line in the past years, would an MG Kshatriya be possible anytime soon?
Is it so? I'm gonna treat those two, I guess, separate questions. Is it possible? Yeah, it's always possible. Is it anytime soon? Probably not. I would be extremely surprised if they do that anytime in the next few years.
I agree. I think it's not something that I would expect to see anytime soon, but I think like technology wise, I think they could make it. There's kind of I don't even know the origin of this story or how true it really is, but there's the old wives' tale of that apparently someone told someone that from Bandai that like the reason they didn't make it years ago is because the binders would be too heavy and they'd have to use metal parts to be able to support like the shoulders and to be able to support the binders, which it makes sense. I don't know if anyone at Bandai actually ever said that to anyone, truthfully or not, but I can understand why that would be a problem with the kit, the weight issues. But I feel like they could probably make it. I'm sure they could figure that out. It's not like that crazy. They made a Deep Striker. That's got really super heavy parts on it as well too, and different. But I think it's possible. Yeah. If and when that ever happens, though, who knows? Like when's the 20-year anniversary of Unicorn going to be?
I don't know the answer to that. When was Unicorn released?
It's 2006, 7, 8, around there.
Yeah, so either 2020,
a few years down the line. Maybe at that time. Years. And expect to see like another plenty more Unicorn kits around that time as well too. All right. Let's see. When you guys receive backorder items, do you send them out in the order they were received, as in the order as when they were placed?
Yeah. So our system allocates. So if you're the first person, say there's 100 orders, and we got 20 in, our system will allocate that 20 to the first people that ordered, based on the time that you ordered it. So yes, it's kind of first come, first serve when the back orders come in. Now, if you have a other back order item or pre-order item, obviously it's now reserved for you. It's sitting here on the shelf, but it won't ship unless until that other item comes in, or you want to split up the order. But short answer, yes.
Jordan asks, how many MGRG standing pilot figures would you estimate are in your collections? I've got a bunch of them in the box there.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I just trash them. So
You never know when you might need it.
yeah, I'm not a big diorama person or anything, so I
Yeah.
don't. I'll never. And then you watch one day, I'll want to do one and be like, damn, I should never have
Wish I
thrown
had
those
that
away.
pilot
Yeah.
figure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've got a bunch of them, but it's same. I don't know if or when I'll ever use them, but Dustin said, do you think Bandai will implement either Ecopla collection machines or something akin to what was used in Build Diver Season 2, where people can bring their empty runners and make their own custom parts on North America shores within the foreseeable future? Anything
for over here that people can just bring in? No, not over here anytime soon. Didn't they have an Ecopla kit that they made?
Yeah, a number of them, I believe.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously those are in production, but as far as us bringing our stuff in, and no time soon. Over here, anyways. They might in Japan, sometime. But
we've had like a kind of similar question before. And I think we were talking about that, and I think it's just the logistics of that is just not really worth it. I mean, it's a nice idea to have Bandai also taking charge and like the recycling effort of all the runners and everything. It's a good idea. I think just the logistics of it is just not possible,
right?
Unfortunately. If they have like something in Tokyo, maybe like that, I'm sure they could do something where there's a lot of people. They would be able to get a lot of it in a very central location, but especially in the US, spread out over the entire country, there's no way. Lawrence asked, I recently had a purchase, but it wasn't shipped out 10 days after the order was placed. I assume the delay is caused by the increase in business. Are there plans on expansion or hiring to improve the service? Love your selection and prices, by the way.
Yeah, so I mean, we're shipping right now next day, or it might take a day and a half for you get. So if it's been 10 days, send us an email because odds are something's probably back ordered, pre-ordered that you probably just didn't realize. That's 99.9% of the time that an order hasn't shipped out within that time frame. But yeah, right now we're shipping in stock orders, pretty quickly.
Based on his verb tense here, I think this is something that has already shipped out. It's a past event. He meant that it was 10 days before his order was shipped out after. Yeah.
So depending on the time frame, so I know like from November to January is crazy, and maybe that's what he's talking about. There's just so much orders and so much stuff coming in and so much going on that I think we got backed up to where it was a few days before something went out. But you can't really, you can hire temp people, but how beneficial is that? What can a temp person do? Because you don't want to hire someone and dedicate now, the full year to someone that you're not going to have work for them to do in a month or so. So, I mean, that's kind of like the back end problems of a business. You're going to have ups and downs in order quantities and stuff. I could have hired 2 people, I guess, at that time, but now they would be here and I wouldn't need them. So now money's kind of, wasted that could go towards other stuff. And, because like I said, now we're shipping out, like I said, in stock stuff is shipping out next day. So they, those 2 people wouldn't even be needed.
Okay. I want to give us one more question here from Facebook, and then we'll do our giveaway for today. Connor asked, do you know when more of the HG MSD kits are coming in? That'd be the Origin MSD kits, like the Act Zaku, the FSD, the North America local type, for example, some of those.
Yeah, so they are in a production schedule, I believe. I haven't gotten, the September, was it June, July, the July, August, September reprint list. I should get that next week. So I'm assuming they'll be on there. I remember
Mhm.
when they gave us our list for what's getting produced this year, all those were on there. But I haven't seen that stuff coming in. It's not coming in the next 2 or 3 months, if that makes
Mhm.
sense, that I've seen.
Summer possibly around there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Great kits though, worth the
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Don't overpay for them now if you're finding them like on Amazon or someone charging way too much for it.
Yeah,
Um,
I would
yeah.
strongly advise not to do that because a lot of stuff now is coming back in stock. Bandai's now,
Mm.
we're getting stuff regularly, so you don't. I would not be. I mean, that's me personally. I mean, it depends on
Mm.
how bad you want it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but most of your normal stuff will get printed again this year and be at normal prices.
Mm. Um, let's see. Okay. Well, let me switch to this. If you guys have any other questions, you guys watching live, you want to ask some questions, you go ahead and put those in the chat now, and we'll take a few of those. But in the meantime, also, I'll pull up this for our giveaway here.
Um,
And yes.
no, someone was asking. I just saw it in the. Someone asked about the Harmony Gold and the
Mm,
Macross stuff. Revy. Yeah, I think that we will be able to get Macross kits here shortly. I don't know a full time frame. I don't know the logistics of what they agreed upon. But with that coming to an agreement, I believe now, they'll start letting stuff come here to the States and, and yeah, just kind of keep an eye out for that stuff.
I think, and one of you guys watching live may know this already too, but I think someone I saw in my Discord earlier today, they were talking about that as well too. And I think someone mentioned that there's even like a date already from when that stuff can already like
Okay,
be brought in,
sweet.
already set for that, I believe. But real quick, so the first two number was to choose here which platform we're taking from, two being Instagram.
Instagram.
So there's 174 comments there, and we're going to hope that we get a low number here. Okay, not so much. 123. All right, so I'll count that up.
You
Adam, you
count
can take a few
backwards.
questions from the chat there while I'm counting the winner.
Yep. So let's go. Death Stingers are on their way. So I would assume they'll be here within, a few weeks. We got our first batch, second batch is, that's the one that's on their way. Will there be another printing of Sandra Stein NT? High grade and master grade, yes. The high grade actually should be here, I would assume, next month. The master grade, a few months after that. RD Station, we have a order in with them. They said would be shipping out from them in May. And then it usually takes about a month from May. So May, June, we should have another restock of everything and then have enough stuff to make the full sets that Zach is asking about. Zoe production rights finally got sorted out. Yes, so we are bringing in Kotobukiya. Is able now to bring in their HMM Zoid kits. We already have 2 up for pre-order. As Kotobukiya starts to do reprints of them, we will start getting them over here. So kind of keep an eye out. If you haven't signed up for our emails or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, do that because we usually post on there anytime that something new is coming that's something like that. When is the Reborn's reversible Gundam getting restocked? That's a good question. Not anytime soon, sadly. What's the time frame for restocking? Oh man, comments are going by quick. For restocking the high grade GM Sniper 2. Oh, master grade or high grade. Master grade actually is getting restocked next month, and the high grade is as well. Both those are getting restocked on stuff that we have coming. The Thomas for the Wing Zero GFF MC, the wing packs, those are on their way too. So give it about a week or two, and we should have those in stock. We pre-ordered. We'll get them out as fast as we can. Jason asked about the heavy metal Ingram high grade kits. We talked about that earlier in the chat, and those are on their way now. So we should have them next week. So if you did pre-order those will be shipping out then. You guys still have process shipping out Osaka. So the Sazabi Verka orders, we're in the process of getting all those out. I was talking to Zach earlier. We got a few hundred of those in, and most of those were back ordered. So we are packing those up and getting them shipped out. So if you did back order that, you should get an email pretty shortly. How was your counting?
Oh. Sometimes Instagram comments load weird, so I didn't want to count up from the bottom just to make sure that I counted correctly. I had to count all the way to 123.
Oh, man.
All right, so it's not Robert here. Sorry to say, it's the next one down. So for the suspense, I've not seen what it is yet. It is Mech Heads Decals. There you go. What's your favorite Gundam video game? Interesting question too.
I honestly have not played. I've tried to play the mobile game. What's it called? Breaker? Is that what it was? You can build your own
Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare.
You could build your own Gundam, like you got parts and stuff. But yeah, so whatever that was, I played that for like 2 days, and then never went back to it. So Mecha, we'll just switch to that. I loved Armored Core. I played Armored Core a ton as a kid. Still love Armored Core. That was my mech video game of choice. What about you?
Me, yeah, I've been playing the mobile game since that released. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of it. I don't really like it anymore, but I'm still playing every day, just logging on and like doing daily stuff, just to keep getting like collecting stuff in the game. But yeah, I played a lot of the Dynasty Warriors Gundam series on Xbox 360, especially the second and third one in that series. That's a lot of fun, just kind of playing as your favorite Gundams and just kind of plowing through legions of enemy grunts. The first one that I played a lot of was Gundam Battle Assault 2 on PlayStation.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. Just like a 2D fighting game. Classic. I know a lot of people played that one back in the day. And in between there, I did play a couple of the PS2 games, which there's a lot of them, kind of. But I think probably Encounters in Space and Zeonic Front, I think, were probably the best ones, as far as I can remember. Those were really fun. I never really played the kind of RPG styled one. It always looked cool, and the art style looked really nice, but I never played it. I can't remember what it was called offhand. Do you remember what I'm talking about on PS2?
No, I didn't really play a lot of Gundam ones. I think I played one Gundam one. I went from Armored Core, and then I played, I don't even know what it was called, but like you couldn't fly around like you could in Armored Core. You were walking around very slowly, and it made me mad, and I never played a Gundam game again.
Yeah. Yeah, the two realistic ones, especially like from 1 Year War, the ones that were too realistic were just, not that fun. But like Zeonic Front was a little bit like that, but it was pretty fun. Yeah. And XN Sever in the chat said MS Saga. Yeah, that's the one that let me see. Let's do MS Saga. Let me see. Maybe if you see the cover, you might recognize this. Did you ever see this one? Looks like that.
No, I don't think I ever played.
Kind of like a RPG. It always kind of looked interesting, but I never played it.
I mean, I liked RPGs, Final Fantasy and stuff like that, and I'm assuming that's a turn-based. It looks like it from the screenshots, turn-based battle style. RPGs, which was back like PlayStation 2 days. So yeah. Who won again?
Sorry. That was,
we kind of went off into the question.
Yeah.
But congratulations to who won.
Mech Heads Decals.
So yeah, congratulations. Send us an email to support@usagundamstore.com. All we need is a screenshot of you logged into your Instagram, just proving that it is you, and then the address that you want us to send that to. Just in there, say, Gumpla questions winner, and we'll get that out to you. Please make sure you send us an email to that, because we need that email in order to get that out to you.
Yes, it was. And if you're watching, this was I messaged you about this earlier.
Yeah.
Sakuchan was the winner from last time.
Yeah, just if for some reason the support email is not getting you, you can always email me, Adam at usagundamstore.com. But if you email it to that support email, they will get it. I don't know. Yeah, I think they said they'd emailed twice. So yeah, if you're having a trouble and not getting an answer, just you can email me directly, Adam at usagundamstore.com, and I'll make sure that gets shipped out to you.
Yeah. So if you're seeing this, Sakuchan,
yes,
we know about that. So
yeah.
trying to get in touch with you too. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. As always, thanks for your time, Adam.
Yeah, no, thank you guys, and thank you everyone for shopping with us, and all your guys' support. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So it's always important for us to give back to you guys as much with content like this. If you guys want other content, don't bother Zach. Email me. Things that you might like to see. I mean, that's always cool to get feedback. I think we got really good feedback on the website, so you'll see a ton of those improvements kind of going through, or if it's stuff that we already have that you might have asked, maybe making that a little bit more pronounced on the website so people can see it easier.
Sure.
So yeah, no, thank you guys for everything. Like I said, without you guys, we would not be doing what we love to do. So thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. And yeah, so I mean, as Adam said, don't message me about like your personal orders or something like that. But you can give feedback to me as well too. I mean, you guys tell me stuff, and I just pass it along to Adam as well too, usually. So I mean, feel free to let me know about things or ask me about things. If I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you to ask Adam, or I'll find out for you or something. So I mean, you can ask me.
Any questions on your orders, send a support email. Also call us. I mean, you're welcome to call us too.
Indeed. So yeah, lots of stuff coming in, lots of stuff on the way.
Yep.
Very exciting time. A lot of people getting those kits in.
Yeah.
And yes, if you guys, again, I'll just remind you, if you missed my live build of the Masquerade Gin this morning, you can watch that. But the review I've already got ready, so I'll be putting the review right after this. So in about 20 minutes or something, go check my channel if you guys want to see that review. That'll be up as soon as I upload this, as soon as we're done. So check that out. Very cool kit. Yeah. And the Cassie HG kit is on the way. So I'll probably won't have that to build with you guys next week or probably the week after that, but I'll do a live build of that one as well too, if you guys are looking forward to that coming out also. So yes, some new stuff, exciting stuff coming out on the way. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for today. We'll catch y'all in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.